okay, girl, y'all got earthquakes? And she said, no. Y'all got tsunamis? And she said, no. So I was in Kuala Lumpur with my friend having some tea tarik ice cream, Thai iced tea ice cream, and asking my friend, like, just basic questions about Malaysia, trying to figure out why this country just wasn't on people's travel destinations lists, at least on the stateside, as much as places like Thailand and Indonesia, at least Bali, that were just next door. And I know it was almost Inquisition style, but I was like, okay, girl, y'all got earthquakes? And she said, no. Y'all got tsunamis? And she said, no. So I'm sitting here like, I don't understand this. And I was reflecting on how I had felt throughout my time in Malaysia. It's a majority Asian country, but I walked around and nobody was staring at me. I went to the mall and no one was following me, no one was calling out. It was a place, or it is a place, where I have always felt, no matter where I've gone, that I can go there and my being there is not a big deal to everyone else. I can just exist. So I'm really scratching my head because Malaysia is the vibe. It's got tropical weather, if you're into that. It's got fantastic food, warm, welcoming, hospitable cultures. And it was in those moments that I realized for me that, oh, Malaysia might be the world's best kept secret. So I'm going to keep on keeping it a secret and not talk about it so much because I don't want a bunch of tourists to come in and just completely mess up the vibe. But Malaysia is not on my move abroad short list. And I want to talk in this video about why it's not and what considering Malaysia and having to say this isn't going to work has taught me about choosing where to relocate. All the reasons why Malaysia is fantastic. And I've been to different places in the country. I've been to Penang a few times. I've been to Kuala Lumpur. And I've also been to Miri. It's near the Brunei border. It's not like a tourist destination. And my experience each time, up there. Fantastic. Between 8 and 10 out of 10, every time. They have fantastic infrastructure, at least in major cities. It's fairly easy and cheap to get around Malaysia, but also the region. Like you can go to Singapore, have a day trip to Singapore easily. It is a fantastic culinary experience because it is comprised mainly of Malaysians, who are the indigenous people to the region, Chinese, and Indians. So those three cultures coming together make fantastic food. The weather is great. It's tropical weather year round. So do with that what you will. Yes, there's a rainy season, but again, you have like exotic birds like flying in your backyard. My friend literally said affordability. I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Kuala Lumpur, and that room was bigger than my entire studio apartment, which is a decent studio apartment. I think it was like 450 square feet in the Bay Area. And it was fantastic. Fantastic buffet in the morning, just what you would expect. And I think it was like $300 for the night. It is, for an American, a very affordable place, even when it comes to food, when it comes to public transportation. I think if you were to live there and had an American salary, you could live very well. But as fantastic as Malaysia is, and as awesome as I feel every time I go there, it does not offer some things that are really important to me. So number one being citizenship. There isn't really a path to naturalization. In fact, I know of people who are married to Malays, and it's still, even in that context, like married to Malays, have their families there, it's still complicated. A lot of bureaucracy and red tape from what I gather. And as a mom with a toddler, thinking about where I'd want her to grow up It's important for me that we are in a space where citizenship is an eventuality, even if it's something that doesn't happen right away. I think that that really helps with your sense of national pride, your sense of belonging, and the way that you interact with others. The other piece with Malaysia is even when it comes to residency, some of the options are kind of pricey. So there are programs. One is called Malaysia, My Second Home. So if any of the positives that I've shared about Malaysia tickle your fancy, check that out. There's also a program called PVIP. I think PVIP costs more, but you can work in Malaysia and you get 20 years of residency. And Malaysia, My Second Home, I think it starts with 5 years. However, both of these programs are seeking out high wealth individuals and or super high earning individuals. You have to be able to buy a home in Malaysia, depending on which visa you get, to not work. And so like that doesn't quite fit the lifestyle that I want to have. Perhaps if I became a billionaire, things would be different. And then of course I would be scurrying right on down the road to have my summer home or my winter home in Malaysia. But this citizenship piece, and to a certain extent, even the residency piece, is definitely a deal breaker for me. But it may not be a deal breaker for other people. I believe Americans get like 90 days entry. And so some people do go and they just kind of bop around as they're going around the rest of Asia. It's worth a look to see if it could be the right space for you. So when it comes to moving abroad, feeling good about a place is very important. But it is not enough. You do need legal pathways, viable legal pathways. And in that sense, Malaysia fell short. And this is why scouting trips and using a strategic move abroad framework really matters. You can't just chase a feeling. Moving abroad has to be a decision that is a mix of your head and your heart. Right? You have to follow that feeling of that vibe, but you also have to make sure that it is viable and it's something that can be sustained in the long term. So what countries do you love, but for one reason or another are not going to make it onto your move abroad shortlist? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.